100 Deadly Skills, Survival Edition, skill number 1. Become crisis-proof. And before we get into all the cool little gear and gadgets that you can carry every day to ensure that you survive whatever crisis you may face, you have to talk about mindset. Most of us are roaming around like sheep, feeding on grass, knowing that we have some sheepdogs, which would be law enforcement and first responders, looking out for us. We know that there's the big bad wolf, which represents all the threats. And so we feel somewhat secure, somewhat safe most of the time. And so we go about our day looking at our cell phones and doing whatever makes us feel good, or we earn our money or go get our coffee, and we really don't think that anything bad will happen. The reality is there's always a wolf or a threat lurking at any given moment. And you have to appreciate the element of surprise. You have to acknowledge it, that it's always there. Becoming crisis-proof is all about having a more proactive and preemptive mindset. Let's talk about situational awareness. Situational awareness is all about paying attention to what's going on in your immediate environment and beyond. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just means scanning your environment near to far on a regular basis, looking for something suspicious or a threat in itself. You also can use other people's behavior around you to determine if anything is going a little sideways. No different than when you're driving down the road and you're going a little bit over the speed limit. We all leverage the brake lights ahead to tell us when we should be cautious. No different than if you're in a crowded environment. You're looking at all of these people, and if you see some folks acting a little different, then hey, put on the brakes, slow down, pay attention, and try to elude and or identify the threat so that you can escape. Now, if you identify a threat, that's when we jump into the OODA loop, which is to observe the threat, orientate yourself accordingly, then make your decisions, and then act them out. OODA. You'll hear me cover this a lot so that I ingrain it in your head. Pay attention near to far, scanning your environment. If you detect something bad, jump into the OODA loop to get yourself out of that situation. It's that simple. Let's jump into projection and demeanor management. How we look matters. What you tell people with what you wear determines whether or not you can be targeted, judged, scrutinized, whatever. So you have to take a moment, look in the mirror before you walk out the door. To be crisis-proof, you want to wear things that blend in so that you're not a target to any of those man-made threats. To be crisis-proof, you want to be carrying some of the things that give you an edge against a potential threat. So let's start head to toe. Here are some things that you want to carry. Whether you're a woman or a man, let's go over some of the everyday carry tools that you should have on you, because you never know when a good day goes bad. From head to toe, starting at the top, sunglasses or any glasses. Change the profile of your face, serve as a light disguise, but more than anything, sunglasses will allow you to scan your environment without anybody knowing where your eyes are actually looking. Hence the reason why Secret Service and a lot of bodyguards around the world wear sunglasses anytime they're with the principal. But there are conditions to this. The culture in which you're visiting may suggest no sunglasses at all. I was wearing sunglasses overseas in an area where no one else was wearing them. And actually what I noticed at the end was only Americans really wear sunglasses on a regular basis. It's a part of our almost daily uniform. So if you're in an area where glasses do not make sense, then don't, okay? But if you can, you should, just so you have the freedom of eye movement without moving your head everywhere or letting people know what you're looking at or what you've detected. Moving down, we get into our clothing. I've mentioned it before, projection demeanor management is important. You need to look in the mirror before you go out. Wear neutral colors, no big logos, nothing that represents money or luxury or brand names. I kind of joke about it, but the reality is if you have a closet at home and half of it is pricey, expensive, and then you have another half that's, bland, boring, and doesn't look great, probably bought at Target, pick the Target stuff. That's gonna allow you to blend in and not stand out and definitely not get targeted by petty thieves or big-time criminals. We also wanna wear layers up top. Whether it's hot or cold, wearing layers, one, keeps you warm, but layers also keeps you cool in the heat. It also gives you another form of light disguise where if you're wearing a dark color on top of a light color, you can go into a coffee shop, take off the dark color, throw it into your messenger bag and walk out with that light color on and throw off a bad guy that might be surveilling you. As you move down, pants, right? Jeans or something that's a little durable would be nice. Whether you're a woman or a man, okay? So we want to stay away from the dresses and the skirts and go with pants because it will come in handy if there's a crisis. Protect your legs from cuts or any other form of debris that could cause you an injury. Shoes, okay? I always say, you gotta have shoes on that you can either run or fight in. Okay, sandals, heels, flip-flops, those are no good. You want shoes on your feet because trust me, your feet become your biggest weapon and tool for survivability when things go bad. All right, third line items. I define third line items are those items that you carry on top of your clothing or in your pockets. So, messenger bag or a purse. I think these are great. And you want a strap on it long enough to sling it so that you can keep it nice and tight to your body. It's always in view and no one can get to it. But even bigger, those purse snatchers, they like to focus on folks that have the strap over one shoulder, right? Not slung across their chest. They can rip it right off your arm and keep on going. And usually they do it with little mopeds. By slinging it makes it far more difficult to grab. Therefore, it detours those that are looking for the easy target. Your job is to be the hard target. A messenger bag also works great to keep all of those life support essentials. You want to keep the basics in there, make sure you're testing it, making sure it's always there, water, food, maps, GPS, medical gear, you name it. You want it in that messenger bag. That's what it's for. What else are you gonna carry in your messenger bag besides your laptop? You might as well add some things that can help you when a good day goes bad. Heading back down towards your shoes. I like shoes that have soles in them. You can remove them and I can hide things in there. You always want to put them to the border so it doesn't affect your feet or the comfort. And that's a handcuff key and a razor blade. You can even throw a credit card and a $100 bill. That way it's tucked away and it serves as like a very light escape and evasion kit that you can get to regardless of whether your arms or your hands are bound in front of you or behind you. You just slip down there, take a shoe off, grab the tools you need to escape, and get off the X as soon as possible. Other items that are optional and definitely based on geographical location is fixed blade knives or a gun of any sort, right? A fixed blade is my preference. I feel like any folding knife is essentially a broken knife, but a fixed blade is a solid piece of steel with a blade and a point. Whether you're outnumbered, taking severe blows to the head, whatever it is, you're not gonna have time to unfold a knife. You wanna be able to get to that handle, get that good master grip, and go for the face, the throat, or wherever you can to initially cause pain and get off the X. As it relates to pistols and concealed carry, that's a personal preference, definitely based on your level of training and what you have the ability to do and carry based on where you are. Obviously, traveling overseas, this is probably going to be pretty difficult and you're taking a huge risk if you do so as a civilian. So, think those things through, but if you live in the States and you're in a gun-friendly state, then by all means, you should think about carrying that fixed blade and or that pistol. One of the things that I would do overseas is I would land, immediately get transportation sorted. Usually it was all figured out ahead of time. And my first stop was never the hotel. It was always like a supermarché or a souk or a grocery store. I initially would get inside, and for me, I had to tell a story just in case somebody's watching or there's a video camera. So I had a plan in my mind that, okay, I'm gonna go in, I'll buy some fruit, I'll buy a paring knife, I'm gonna buy some extra shoelaces. I'd buy a bunch of stuff that individually or all together doesn't make a lot of sense, and it didn't matter and it didn't look threatening. But the beauty of that is now when I come out, I get to my hotel, now I can create my own fixed blade knife, the knife I bought at the store to cut my block of cheese or an apple. I can then take the cardboard molding that the knife came in, create a sheath, right? Put the knife in it, take the shoelaces, tie it off to one end of the sheath, and then girth hitch that shoelace loop to my belt loop on my pants, and then tuck the knife into my waistline. Now, when I go and grab the handle of that knife and deploy it, the sheath may come with it, but the shoelace serves as a leash on the sheath, so it naturally will fall, hang, and then I can deploy the blade wherever I want. These are the kinds of creative things you can do to create an EDC on the fly, especially for items that you just can't travel with or you don't want to take the risk of going through customs with a fixed blade knife in your baggage. All right, don't assume that it won't happen to you. That is why you carry everyday items and why you should always be crisis-proof.